Took me a little while to find it, but I found it. That was the final push for me to go get this one. See what it takes to fill this thing. It's hard to beat more or be more American than just a massive gas engine. And it's just the way trucks should have been, you know, just simple, just an appliance. Hey everyone, and welcome back to DC MotorWerks. My name is Cameron, and most recently I've kind of decided that it is time for a bigger truck, and I've been looking for a while to replace my old Black Beauty in the background there, and this is what I decided I wanted. This was the perfect spec truck in my opinion, and took me a little while to find it, but I found it. So this is a 1999 2500 Ram with the as big of a bed as you could get in 1999, but still with the short bed. And it is four-wheel drive, and all important to me was this badge right here. This is the V10 equipped Ram. So from 94 to 2003, you could get your Ram pickup truck with a V10 motor. You could still get it in the SRT10 later, but for just your regular work truck, we get the truck V10, I guess you call it. So it's not quite the Viper V10, but it is still the 8-liter V10. And again, like I said, it ran from 94 to 2003. So only one model year in the next body style from this one, but I love the baby semi look of the second generation Rams. Also amongst the interior design and so forth. This is just what I wanted it to be. Like I said, it's four-wheel drive with the V10, so perfect spec truck. While I've had my good old Black Beauty over here, this is my 2001 Dodge Dakota, which you may or may not have seen in other videos. And it was also my perfect truck at the time. I've had it for about 7 years now and put I think 70,000 miles or so on it. I forget exactly, but it was my perfect spec truck at the time because it is the 4.7 liter with the manual transmission. It is two-wheel drive, which I didn't mind at the time, but it is also the full quad cab. So a little bigger cab in this one with the four full doors. I've done a lot to it over the years. So it's got tie output cams. It's got the RT wheels from a 5.9 RT. I put in some leather seats from a Durango in the front. I also did the leather trim door panels with the fake wood. I upgraded to the navigation radio. It's got a short throw shifter in it. I also did a rear disc brake conversion. So for the late 2003, 2004 Dakotas, they came with disc brakes. So I was able to find a limited slip rear differential with the disc brakes. And you can see it's also got drilled and slotted brakes, so I upgraded those. Lots of labor and love into that one. It'll tow 7,500 pounds. It tows the boat, it tows the car trailer, does everything kind of I need it to do. And you can park it anywhere, and that was kind of the benefit of having the smaller truck, is that it can go and do just about anything. As things have progressed, I have wanted a four-wheel drive bigger truck just to tow a little easier, as the boat is about the limit of this truck. And the car trailer definitely stresses it a little bit. And with it being two-wheel drive, I got embarrassed at the boat ramp a number of months ago because the lake was really low and the two-wheel drive was just slipping in the silty, wet sand that was at the bottom of the boat ramp. So that was the final push for me to go get this one. Like I said, these are kind of tough to find in the specification that I wanted. So I wanted the one with the, they call it camel leather interior. This is the full Laramie, as nice as you could get for this time period. So you got leather seats, some fake wood trim, power windows, door locks. It really wasn't a whole lot, but like I said, that was the combination for me. Short bed, four-wheel drive, Laramie with the V10. It's actually in pretty nice shape. The only real problem here is that the bottoms of the doors are starting to go, and you're like, oh man, this truck might be rusty. But if a cameraman catches a shot here into the frame and so forth, it is actually super clean underneath. I've come to find out an issue with the second generation Rams. I guess doors don't drain very well and they start to rust. Even the body's pretty straight. It's got 233,000 miles or so. Old Super Swamper type tires on here that are pretty awful. If you look at the front one there, it is cupped and worn uneven. Just have a look at how awful this looks. The tire literally just kind of goes like that. Sounds like a tractor going down the road. So those will be replaced in short order, as well as some brakes, because which we'll show you later. This has the very rare factory line lock option. No, I'm just kidding. No, this caliper is about totally seized, so it does kind of struggle to get the truck moving, and that brake rotor gets really hot. That will be something we'll have to do, but we'll go ahead and check out the interior here, especially for the mileage. A lot of these are really torn up, and someone has added aftermarket heated seats. So heated seats were actually an option on the Laramie, but on the 2000 and later models. So this one does not have it, being a 99, but like I said, couldn't be too picky when it comes to trying to find something used that you want to be in a specific specification for you. Like all second generation Rams, the dash is cracked, yes, but thankfully, unlike some of them, there are no pieces missing out of it, so it is more or less intact. Also, you get a nice open with there's no pillar or anything here when you have the rear doors open, we'll call it. And you still get nice vent windows, and like I said, I'm not like the modern truck guy where I have to worry about scratching it or anything like that. I just use my truck for work, and this is all I need from it, is to be a truck. I don't need it to have Apple CarPlay. I don't need it to have massaging seats or adaptive cruise control. I just need it to be a truck. So you get the nice full 6.5 foot bed, which again is one of my biggest gripes about this one. It's like just over 5 feet when you have the quad cab. So it's a really small bed, so you can't even fit a refrigerator in here without leaving the tailgate open. Lots of decisions, again, went into replacing this one. I'm still gonna struggle with letting it go, but if it does interest you, it needs essentially nothing, as I've done everything to it. I actually just changed the oil recently too. So if you're interested in it, shoot me a email at admin@dcmotorworks.com, and we'll see if you can pry it off my hands. Come around the side here, we'll pop the hood and show you the massive V10. Another cool thing I found out about this truck later is that it has the heavy duty option. So it has a higher rated axles, it has a heavy duty transfer case. So just a little bit extra heavy duty stuff. Here you can see on the nice manifold there, it is cast into it 8-liter V10. So a common misconception is that this is a Viper motor. It is very loosely related to the Viper motor. There's not much that is shared between them, but it kind of makes the same sound, and is really cool to say you have a very similar to the Viper V10 motor in your pickup truck. See, everything's just pretty tidy under here. Nothing too much to write home about. Like I said, for a work truck with 230-some thousand miles, it is in pretty nice shape, so I'm pretty excited about it. Has a new battery, even with its custom nail to make sure you keep the positive side tight. You know, we'll have some things to go through, which we'll do some videos on. Here's your very primitive anti-lock brakes. It is rear brake ABS only, which was very common for trucks back in the day because the rear ends, if they were unloaded. So the Dakota is the same way. It is rear wheel ABS only. These V10s were pretty trick for back in the day. They were coil pack instead of distributor, which was very common on the older motors. The 5.2 and the 5.9 that this is kind of loosely based on would have had that. So, and sequential multi-port fuel injection. So it had some very cool stuff, especially for 94 when it was originally released. So again, it just ticked all the boxes for me for what I want out of a truck for the next many, many years. And with it not being new, with all the fancy new gadgets, I don't really have to worry about it breaking or anything like that, or I can just jump in it and go, which is my goal for something that you use as an appliance, which it is because it's in white, which is when it's usually on a truck like this, we call it a refrigerator or an appliance. But with that said, let's go for a short drive and show you what it's like. So before we go for any real type of drive, we have to do what is probably going to be this truck's favorite thing, and that is go to the gas station. So I don't know what kind of fuel economy this is going to get, but I imagine it's going to be somewhere in the 12 mile to the gallon range, if not worse, because it is a 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive 8-liter V10 monster. But the tank is about empty. We're showing a 15 mile to empty, so see what it takes to fill this thing. So thankfully, at least for the moment, fuel is not too expensive at $2.62 a gallon for regular. I know that when I fill up Andy's truck, which he has a 3rd generation Ram, but his is a diesel. So the fuel is usually a little more expensive. Usually costs $100 or so to fill his from empty. I think the tanks are about the same size. This one's 35 gallon. I know my brother's truck is 34 gallons. He has a mega cab diesel. This one's listed at 35, and we're pretty empty. So we'll see what we fill up with. We might be here for a little while. We're only about halfway there. No way. I guess that's it. So there you go, $70. Not hateful. Definitely not the best. Now we'll just have to keep track of how quickly it goes through it. So I reset the trip meter so we can see how many miles we get out of this tank, but our new distance to empty is a whopping 200 miles on a full tank. So that's not very exciting. We're going to reset that. Let's reset our average MPG, which is currently at 7.2. See if we can improve that, hopefully. Maybe we can get into double digits. But again, like I said, that is not the goal of this truck. The goal of this truck is to pull whatever I want it to. I just wanted the simple gas. Don't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about starting it in the cold. If I was driving it every day, I might want the extra fuel economy of the diesel, but for what I use a truck for, the gas is the simplest way to do it. I also don't really like towing with the diesels. I don't like the way the power is delivered, having to wait for the turbo to come alive and all that kind of thing. Whereas with this, it makes peak torque at like 1200 RPM or something. You don't have to wait for a turbo or anything to spool up or any of that mess. Just turn the key and go. And you also get to say you own a V10. It is a monstrous 8 liters. Sounds pretty good. All the torque you could want at 450 foot-pounds. So that was super common in like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. So you'd have your diesel option and then usually a really big gas motor to go alongside it. So GM, usually had a diesel, or they had the 7.4 or the 454 in the 80s, 90s. And then into the 2000s, they had the 8.1 liter gas motor. And then Dodge or Ram did this, or if you didn't want the 5.9 Cummins, you got to pick from the 8 liter V10 until the Hemi came out. So 2004 and up was Hemi only. But like I said, up through the early 2000s, that was kind of what you got. Even Ford back in the day, you got to pick from either usually the 7.3, or if you go back further, the 6.9 diesel, or you could get the 460 big block. It's hard to beat more or be more American than just a massive gas engine. I mean, if you think 8 liters, it's nothing like the trucks of today that are just luxury SUVs with a truck bed on the back of them. This was back in the day when, this was as fancy of a truck as you could get in 1999. You got leather seats, you got some fake wood trim, you got power locks and power windows and power mirrors, so all the stuff you need, Crazy how far trucks have come in the last 25 years. That this was the top of the line back then, and now trucks have heated, cooled, massaging seats, adaptive cruise control, CarPlay. It's pretty amazing what they equip the trucks with these days. Why I wanted one of these older trucks, I get a nice manual transfer case. Just a lever, no buttons, no crazy stuff, no traction control, a very primitive amount of anti-lock brakes. And it's just the way trucks should have been, just simple, just an appliance. Or at least that's what I ask of my truck. Let's see our turning radius here. Oh, not too bad. You can turn around on a 2.5 lane road. So this one came with the very, very, very rare factory line lock option. No, I'm just kidding. The front right brake caliper is pretty well seized, which you can tell if I let go of the steering wheel. It wants to pull itself into the other lane, and it does struggle a little bit to get going, to overcome the brakes there. So we're not going to go for a very extensive test drive. A little bouncy with these tires. They are like some mud swamper, super cheap tires. So They're not ideal. I will be replacing them with some more proper, just all-terrain tires. It's gonna be our new trend, is we're just gonna try out the four-wheel drive on everything. And like I showcased earlier, this is the old school lever on the floor four-wheel drive. So we'll go ahead and give her a little rear wheel there. And this one is a limited slip, or anti-spin as they called it back in the day. And that seems to be working properly. We'll bump this into four-wheel drive. Just one pull of the lever. We got a light on the dash to confirm. And we pull off without even a hint of wheel spin. The only downside to this style four-wheel drive is that you can't use it on pavement, because once it is engaged, there is no open center differential to vary the speed between the front and rear axles. So you will quickly tear something up if you do that. Only need it in case something is kind of like this, where you'll slip with no weight in the rear. Or like I said, if you're on the boat ramp and the lake is really low and there's lots of silt and sand, you can still pull your boat out of the water without much fuss. There it is. That is my 1999 2500 Ram Laramie with the all-important V10 of a massive 8 liters. But stay tuned for some videos on this one. Like I said, we got to do some brakes. We need to do some tires. The air conditioning doesn't work, which even here in late October in Georgia would have been nice today when cameraman and I were riding around. But it's already got some nice stuff. It's got some LED headlights and fog lights, and amongst some other little niceties. But we are going to do a little more with it. I would like to do a paint in or spray in bed liner or something like that. I do also really like the cab clearance lights that came on some of these trucks, so I may be looking into doing something like that. Let us know what you think if you want me to do anything fun with the second gen Ram. I know there is a lot of aftermarket support for these. And if you watch my dear friend David, from also known as Car Wizard, we'll put his video up there, but he also owns the second generation V10 Ram. His is a dually and a little bit earlier, but he kind of has the same ideas as I do as to why I chose the V10 over the diesel. So check out his video if you want any more info on that. And like I said, sorry, it is not the diesel, but I did not want that for the many reasons I listed earlier on. But stay tuned. Thank you all. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.